Going by you will see light codes and orbs. What are light codes? Well, they carry their own frequency. Light carries its own frequency. Humans are just not quite evolved enough on Earth yet to hear the sound of light on a continuous basis. Eventually, you will hear the sound of light. You will hear the sound of light because it will be available on your frequency bandwidth. Now, I'm sure that there are people out there that have already thought of this or practiced this, but nobody on Earth yet can sit there and just randomly tell you what color a car was that went by, right? Well, eventually that kind of thing will be possible. And, that happens through meditation, through ascension, through training your mind to be able to do that. Light carries it with information. It carries with it information, of course. Imagine being in a ascended, highly evolved society where instead of road maps, you're traveling through the cosmos or traveling on that ascended planet up in 6 or 7D, and the information that you need is passed through you through light, different light coded in filaments, light colors. As we go on down this road, it's going to be more about the information that you receive out of the light and that you can project through light versus the beauty of the color. It's kind of ironic. On one hand, as planets ascend in vibration and pick up in frequency, the colors do get more vibrant and beautiful, but it's really less about what they look like. It's more about the information that they hold and that they pass on to us. Okay, and learning in the future as our bridge to telepathy goes. These light codes also a lot of times have symbols in them, right? These symbols are also codes. They're information, right? The simple, quick information without a lot of minutia of verbal language. These light codes and symbols also reinvigorate DNA within you. They restore memory. They trigger an all-knowingness that you've always had. These light codes are almost the key to your own personable Akash. Okay? That's part of it too. When you start mixing in these orbs with them, of course the orbs carry light as well. They carry information, but the orbs are actually, sometimes they're collective of beings on them. And most of the time they are. It just depends on whether or not they're from high up in the angelic realms or they're from in the star realms. The star realms carry a lot more beings on them, and they're more of a rounder type of there's more going on in there. There's a lot of different mix of colors, and it looks like there's more beings in one of those, whereas the higher dimensional orbs are a flatter, smoother kind of a look. What I have found is the higher dimensional orbs have that smoother, flatter look to them. The ones from the upper star realms of Andromeda and Arcturus, for instance. Okay, and those usually have less beings in them. I've noticed maybe a handful of occupants in those versus some of these orbs that I've channeled from the 8th dimension and whatnot. They can have hundreds of occupants in them. Okay, kind of like a Star Trek starship. So that's sort of the difference between them. The Merkabas, they're higher dimensional Merkabas, right? You can call them an orb, a Merkaba, whatever. The Merkabas from Arcturus and Andromeda from their higher dimensions look different than your standard typical Merkaba that you might think of that come from the star realms, from the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th dimension. That's just some of the differences between these things. Okay, and I've mentioned this before, what I've noticed in these orbs is that, and this is what I've gotten downloaded to me, of course, the ones that I channel from Pleiades, they're a military peacekeeping fleet, right? It's mostly Pleiadians. There's some Arcturians, some Lyrans in there with them as well, and some Syrians. Some of these occupants of orbs are souls that are getting ready to reincarnate back to Earth, so they're taking a tour around for a couple years of Earth time, comparatively speaking, and they're trying to find the right place they want to incarnate to. Some of these are loved ones that have passed, and they're just wanting to come back and, show their loved ones in some way without breaking free will treaties that they're okay and that they're safe, and just let them know that they're around. I've mentioned this before in other talks, but light codes are information. Light is information. Light is love. Light is all that there is. Light is creation. Okay, and it's just higher dimensional aspects of ourselves, higher dimensional beings that were like us at one point. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Rockin' Larry Lockin saying so long, and have a great rest of your weekend.